Inside the Classroom takes an in-depth look at one of Team Hardin County Schools' best teachers in action, featuring comments, class instruction, and insight inside the classroom.
I really at first didn't think I was going to be a teacher. I set out to be a motivational speaker. Teaching is something that, I feel like is a calling and a gift. And so my journey led me from college to being a teacher. One of my college professors was like, it's very hard to be a motivational speaker, da, 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 da. And so then it just kind of led me into teaching, which I still get to be a motivational speaker by teaching. So that's kind of how I became a teacher. If you had asked me back then and said, you're going to be a history teacher, heck no, because I didn't even like history. So it's a passion. I love it. I feel like it's a calling, and I still get to motivate. Somebody read the essential question, please.
What is the central idea of the piece?
The first thing you're going to do is we're going to look at vocabulary, okay? And then after that, we'll get started into the actual exercise. I was a reservist, and I was here on Fort Knox, and I did a couple of what you call tours where you're active duty. So I did a couple of active duty tours, but I was reservist. And when I went to the military, it was more like for discipline. And then after that, it just kind of, I stayed at home with my kids for a while and homeschooled a couple of them for several years, and then went on back to college and finished my teaching degree.
Number one, thinking my religion speech your breast. Plus you can assemble in crowds and protest. Number two, right to bear arms and cannons. I bet the Minutemen didn't know about handguns. Number three, when soldiers get sleepy, you don't have to let them sleep up on your couch. Number four, no one can search and seize. It protects me unless people have a warrant to arrest me. Number five, if you arrest me, respect me. Sorry, Alec, there's no double jeopardy. What'd you do after school? I played the fifth. What'd you do after that, dude? I played the fifth. I don't have to incriminate myself or risk my health. Whenever I'm in trouble, I just plead the fifth. Number six, you must process me speedily. 7 in front of my peers on the jury. Number 8, you can use pull the unusual punishment. You can make me drip on time for the fun of it. 9, the people get more than these rights. 10 states can make other laws and they just might. This is the Bill of Rights. 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 This is the 10 Amendments, the first 10 of the Constitution, baby.
My inspiration comes from many. I think of Miss Cook, my kindergarten teacher. She smelled really good and she was really pretty. I think of Miss Bishop, which was my 5th grade teacher, and she taught me about being a lady. I think of Mr. Penn, who was my 4th grade teacher, and he was just very kind, even though sometimes I wasn't so nice. I also have teachers that helped me to understand what I didn't want to be. 3rd grade teacher, Miss Wade, was not very kind at all, and you didn't get second chances. Once I got to middle school, I think of Miss Proctor. She was my science teacher, and I didn't even like science, but she was amazing. And she and Miss McGowan were best friends, and Miss McGowan was a language arts teacher. Loved both of them. And then high school, I would think that my counselor probably had more of an influence once I got to high school. And she was just always there to be my support. I was secretary of our class and just kind of teaching me how to carry that role and to be a mouthpiece for my peers. So again, we've been dealing with the Bill of Rights, and we know that the first 10 amendments are the first 10 amendments are the first 10 amendments are the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights. Okay? So that's where we are.
Number one, she cares about her students and they know it. She's very organized. She takes history, connects it to real life, takes government and gets the students interested in government. Her relationships with her students are better than any other teacher I've ever worked with. She's the mother of our school. At even all grade levels, she makes connections with 6th graders and 7th graders alike. Even though she teaches 8th grade, Her classroom is very organized. When you walk into her classroom, when I bring visitors into the building and they go into her classroom, they just want to stay. I have people just sit down in her classroom because they want to learn something.
All right. I want you to look at that title right there. What's the first thing we do when we get our paper? We put our name on it and proper. What's the first thing we do when we get our paper? We put our name on it and proper. On the first line, we put our first and last name, and then we put our, on the second line, that's where we put our date, and don't forget to put it. On the third line, that's where our period goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on the last line, that's where we title it. Map, quiz, vocab. I know you get the gist. What's the first thing we do when we get our paper? You guys, today it's going to be CR. That's the title.
Ms. Parker is an exceptional teacher because she keeps us engaged with what we're working on. She asks us questions so we know what we're doing, and if we don't know, then we can look it up in our textbooks or ask her.
When you finish putting your heading on your paper, what I want you to do is, I want you on the back of this, don't start reading it, just put your your heading on there, okay? I want you on the back of this, tell me, what do you think the title means, for what it's worth? And then it was written in the 1967. What do you know about this time period? What do you know about the 60s? You can do bullets on that, okay? I know one thing you should say is Ms. Parker wasn't born. Okay, I was not born in the 60s. Being 21, you know I wasn't, okay? All right, so what do you think the title means? And then what was going on during this time period? Was there any wars going on? Those kind of things, okay? I'm gonna give you about, I don't know, a minute to get that done. What do you think the title means? And then what was going on during this time period? Well, we've been dealing with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you know, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. And so this lesson kind of gets them thinking about, you know, those rights, and, you know, it takes the piece and it breaks it down where they do a close read of it. And then we will take later and apply which Bill of Rights do they think they see in this piece. They'll ask some higher order questions as well. You know, what are some of the things they wonder about, those kind of things. So that's kind of where this piece is kind of coming out of. We're dealing with the Bill of Rights and people's rights. What were these people's rights and those kind of things. All right, with your shoulder partner, this is what I want you to do. I want you to share with your shoulder partner what you think the title means and what do you know about this time period. Share with your partner, your shoulder partner, what you think the title means for what it's worth and what you know about this time period, the 1960s. Go.
Some of the strategies that keeps students engaged, they act out a lot of things that have happened in the past. They act out government processes, and the students really buy into that, and they make that connection of real life situations and things that they're going to encounter for the rest of their adult lives.
Ms. Parker is an effective teacher for me because she keeps me trying really hard, because she knows that some of the work comes easy for me, so she makes it more difficult, so I'll be more challenged.
When I call on you, you're going to share what the other person said. So you need to be actively listening. So if I call on Sean, he's telling me what Jemiah said, okay? And Jemiah is going to tell me what Sean said, okay? So you're sharing, actively listening. Go. Well, I try to use different things. Some kids are audio learners, some are visual. I do a lot of music. Any given day I'm going to be singing, because kids get it. When you put it to a beat, they get it. I try to come up with crazy acronyms and stuff like that to help them learn. And I do a lot of things where they teach each other because they learn best from each other. So those are different strategies that I've implemented within my class.
That people do things for what they're worth and what they mean to them.
Okay, what they're worth and what they mean to them. All right. Go ahead and share with me, Michael. What did Adrian say?
Said, for what it's worth, you need to take your time to listen.
Take your time to listen. Zoe, what did your partner say? Just give me one of them.
She said, treasure what you have and tie-dye what you can.
Treasure what you have, and say it again, babe.
Tie-dye was in style.
Tie-dyed was in style. Okay, good. Okay. Brian, what did your partner say, Matthew?
He was talking about how when the war was happening, even though we were losing, that this still fought.
Okay, what war was it? What war was going on during this time? Vietnam War, yeah, okay.
What makes Ms. Parker an effective teacher is that she pushes you to do things, even though you may not want to do it. Like, she knows how it feels, so like, she knows some people don't get the education that she do, so she wants you to get as much as you can, and that sometimes to get over what you don't want to do is just to do it.
All right, let's look at the next thing we're going to do here, okay? So what I want you to do now is I want you to number the different sections. 1 through 8 it should be. The different sections, there should be 8 different sections. Number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'll help us when we're discussing to be able to narrow it down. Does everybody understand what Ms. Parker is asking you to do? We're going to read this together, and we call this a code read, okay? We're going to read this together. I want somebody to volunteer to start reading.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to do work.
Pick it
What
up.
makes Ms. Parker an effective teacher for me is that she teaches things in a way that it makes you get it fast. And like she makes little songs, and she likes to have fun when she teaches.
So what I want you to do now, we've looked at the title and said what we think it means. Now we've done a code read of it. I want you to tell me, what do you think this piece is about? What do you think this piece is about? Write it on the back. Middle school kids are the best. I love them. Like, I feel like it's a crazy age. Middle school for me was the hardest time. And so for me to be able to love on these babies and help make that transition from middle to high school, it is probably the craziest time in their schooling. And so I love them. I love them. I love them. And just teaching them how to be good citizens. I think teachers, literally, I feel like I have my hand in the future. And so what I'm doing now will definitely have an impact in the future. These are my babies, and I think I teach more than just content. It's about teaching them how to be good citizens, how to be respectful, how to be kind and care for one another, be able to agree to disagree. And so I love middle school. I can't imagine being any other age level, really can't. Whether you're happy or not, clap your hands. All right, I need you to share with me, what do you think this piece was about? This time you can share what you thought this piece was about this time. What did you think this piece was about? Talk to me, Sharon.
Equal gun rights.
Equal gun rights? Talk to me, Adrian.
A shooting or a protest.
A shooting or a protest? Talk to me, Sean. Riots. Talk to me, Jaden.
We thought it was about the people who disliked the Vietnam War, and they were protesting the whole war, and they were still in looming fear of the Russians and everything that was still continuing from the Cold War.
Okay.
I say she's the mother of our staff because she takes young teachers under her wing. She always has an open door to her classroom. It is locked, but she invites people to come to her classroom. She's always welcoming to visitors to see. She always wants to get better. She wants to get ideas from other teachers, and she takes younger teachers and will take her planning period and go visit those younger teachers and give them advice and how to make the content more interesting, how to establish the relationships with the students and understand the backgrounds of some of our students. She does a great job with all of that.
Here we go. So, now that you've done that, okay, and you guys really, I'm not going to tell you what this piece is really about, because what I want you to do is I want you to go home and I want you to be curious enough to look it up yourself. Does that make sense? So today, it's not like Ms. Parker's going to lay it out to you. This is exactly what this piece was about. But there is a lot of misunderstanding around this piece about what it was about, okay? So I'm not going to tell you. I want you to go home and be curious, okay? All right, here we go. This is the next thing we're going to do now. We're going to do 3 through 6, steps 3 through 6. Everybody up here, eyes on me, please. Eyes on me, okay? Step number 3, you're going to underline words or phrases that you don't understand. I want you to do that now. Underline words or phrases that you don't do anything else, but just underline words or phrases that you don't understand. Sorry. Teachers are important because I think our job is to come alongside of parents and help to reinforce what they're teaching, along with content and those kind of things. They spend most of their time with us. And so teachers are important because we are the ones that will pave the way for where they're going in the future. And so I think sometimes we don't realize how important our role is. I'm their mom, I'm their teacher, they're a part of my family, I'm a part of their family. I think it's like teachers truly, like, we make a difference, and I don't take that lightly. All right, do you have number 3 and 4 done? Yes, no, maybe. How many of you say, no, I don't, I'm not done yet? 3 and 4. Okay, so what I need you to do now is I want you to share with your shoulder partner, what was those phrases you didn't understand, words or phrases in those powerful words? Share with your shoulder partner, please.
She allows us to talk with our shoulder partners if we need to, so that if we don't fully know, we can ask them and keep engaged like that.
Most of you are done? Yes? All right, share with me what your partner said. Again, we're going to go back to what your partner said. What did your partner say as far as words that they didn't understand? What did your partner say? Yes, Jalen.
The part where it says, nobody's right if everybody's wrong.
Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Somebody take a stab at that. What does that mean? Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Take a stab at it. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Go ahead, Sharon.
Because you're everybody's wrong, so you can
Okay. What makes you so special over everybody else? Somebody else. Take a stab at it. If everybody's right, yes.
Well, like during the Cold War with Russia, the people that are protesting are trying to end the war, and they think that both the countries are wrong.
Okay. Okay. Somebody else. Go ahead, Adrian.
I actually didn't like history because there were so many little parts to it, and I didn't really understand why it was important. But Ms. Parker actually taught me that it was really important to learn about our background and to know that we need to learn these things as we grow up.
You know what I always think of when I think of paranoia? Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but this is what I think of. Y'all tell me if y'all ever heard this, okay? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Have y'all ever heard that song? Yeah. And that's what I think of when I think of paranoia. I think of like, you know, yeah, like everybody's watching, you know, like this, you know, whole conspiracy thing. But that's the song I think of.
My sister plays that thing 24/7.
She plays that song for real?
Yeah.
That is so funny. I didn't even know. How many of you have heard that before? With me being 21, I'm surprised I know it, but I mean, yeah, okay. Okay. All right. My greatest joys is when they make those connections, when history literally comes alive for them. That's my greatest joy. My babies, in the next 4 years, some of them will be able to vote. And so when they kind of get it, like it becomes real to them, oh, I'm getting ready to be an adult, I'm ready to make adult decisions, and that comes together, that's one of my greatest joys. I think seeing my kids outside of school later, sometimes that brings joy because I see what they're doing. This weekend I had the pleasure of seeing 2 of my babies that I previously had, and hearing about what they're doing now, that's a joy to me. And just knowing that I had a small part in being able to, you know, help them along the way. Thank you. All right, 5. Place an exclamation mark by any parts that surprised you. Then you have to have 3 of these. You're going to draw a line, and you're going to tell me why it surprised you, okay? Same thing with questions, things that raise questions. You're going to draw a line, and then you're going to write that question. You have to have 3 of these.
When we do This is the Year Motives chant, it gets me ready because it's my favorite part of the day, and some people need motivation.
You have to have 3 of these. I'm going to give you about a minute and a half to do that. About a minute and a half to do that. 3 things that you were surprised about and why. You're going to write it in the margin. 3 things that raise questions, and you're going to write those questions in the margin. I think the advice I would give to parents is be involved, be connected with your teachers, know your teachers and let your teachers know you, and be like partner up. I feel like my students, when they know that their parents and I are partners, it adds a whole different dynamic. And so I think parents, with that being said, a lot of times in middle school, we see less parent participation in the classroom or with academics and more at like the sports events. I would say to parents, don't hold back now. This is the time that we press in even more because this is the craziest time. Their peers' opinions are more important, so we still got to be in their ear teaching and saying those things and be involved. Let your children know you're involved, let your teachers know you're involved, and work as a team to do that. Okay, there's a contradiction there. Good job, Matthew. All right, I'm going to take one more. Andreas, talk to me. Either or, I don't care.
Well, I put a question next to paranoia strikes deep because I didn't know why they were scared.
Ms. Parker inspires me to be a better person by keeping me engaged and telling me that I have to keep going, even if I don't really understand the topic, that I should still work hard.
Okay, why are they scared? Y'all want me to sing it again? Okay. All right, let's go to the next part. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Let me look at our time too. This is what we're gonna do now, okay? We're going to now listen to the lyrics with music. Don't write during the music, I just want you to listen, okay? Just take it all in. I want you to tell me, what are you hearing, okay? I hear da-da-da-da, but that's after the music goes off. And then you're gonna tell me, does this music match the lyrics? Why or why not, okay? We've read it, we've talked about it. Does the music match the lyrics? And then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna tell me if the music adds or takes away from the overall purpose of the piece, the mood or meaning. I'll get it, give me a second. I'll be right there, Alicio. Does the music add or take away from the overall purpose of the piece, mood and meaning, okay? So I'm gonna let you listen to it. I think we have to teach them how to think. And when we teach them how to think, they begin to understand fact and fiction, that everything that's on the TV is not, the gospel, so to speak, or fact. And that's one of my greatest, desires, is to be able to teach them how to think. I tell them sometimes you may have different views than maybe your family, even your parents, those kind of things. And so I want them to begin thinking. I want them to be able to say, why not? What if? And begin to explore those things and to look at, okay, why is it saying it this here and saying this there, so that they can begin to look at, well, maybe this isn't the truth, and dig. When they dig, that's when they'll get to the truth. All right, you guys, now, this is what I want you to do. Number one, what did you hear? You're gonna write this on the back. What did you hear? Does the music match the lyrics, the tone, the mood, why or why not? And does the music add or take away from the overall purpose of the piece, okay? Does it add or take away from the central idea, okay, of the piece? Mood, the meaning, that kind of thing, okay? Take a few minutes and do that.
She inspires me to do my best because we know she cares, because she doesn't just teach us so we do good on the test, she teaches us so we're good voters and we know about the world.
What did you hear? Does this music match the lyrics, why or why not? And does the music add or take away from the whole meaning, the central idea of this thing? Do you feel like you have a better understanding of what's going on now that you've heard it, or not?
I'm interested in history, and I think it's important because if we don't learn it, then we're likely to repeat it.
History for me, it was hard at first, but she made it for where it was fun, and that I would love to come into her class every day and to learn.
Okay, so you think they just added music. All right, talk to me.
Well,
coming to you next.
Very upbeat, happy song, but it's talking about a very depressing time, and I think it works with the lyrics because the lyrics are talking about a depressing time, but where people being taken away and there's people with guns, but people are happy and they're singing.
Okay. So you think it matches, the music and the lyrics match. Okay, what do you think?
Ms. Parker is one of my favorite teachers because she treats everybody like family.
Okay, so you think it adds to it? Okay. All right, anybody else want to share? Would anybody else like to share? Yes, Military dependents, that life is different because every few years they're going somewhere different. They have to make new friends, and I think sometimes we don't understand the challenge of that. Just about as soon as they get settled, it's time to, pick up the roots and go again, And so I am thankful that I have a military background because I can, understand their plight and be able to, help my other students that don't have a military background to be more accommodating and those kind of things. Okay, so now we're gonna take it a step further. Okay, we're gonna take it a step further. Now we're gonna look at the video with the music. Okay, we're gonna look. Oh man. Okay, you guys, we're gonna run out of time, but we're gonna go ahead and look at this anyway. Okay.
Okay. In addition to what Ms. Parker does in a classroom, she started a history club. She used to be in charge of the 8th grade trip, going to Washington, D.C., and so many other students expressed interest in that. So she opened up a history club and opened it up to the entire student body. And she gives them experiences not just going to Washington, D.C., but they do little things like they'll go to the Hardin County History Museum. She takes them to Frankfurt to see the Capitol, understand how state government works. She does, they go to Huntsville, Alabama, or Birmingham, and they study civil rights and the civil rights movement so the students can see the museum and the history that's there. And then they cap it off with a trip to the Capitol. So she gives students so many real life experiences, sacrifices her time, gives up her spring break to give students that opportunity, makes it affordable, meets with the parents early on. She gives those students learning experiences outside of the school building, and provides those students with opportunities that they probably wouldn't have if it weren't for Ms. Parker.
She's one of my favorite teachers because she's fun. She has activities to where we don't just learn, we have fun with it, and we want to come back the next day and continue it. Does the video match the lyrics? Why or why not? Does the video add or take away from the overall purpose of the piece? Do you get a clearer picture of what's taking place? What is the mood, the meaning, okay? Does the video add to that or take away from it?
Students that have had Ms. Parker will always remember her. They come back all the time wanting to see her, and they remember her because she tells them she loves them. She's not, but she means business. She's very good. She's a very good disciplinarian. She's hard on them. She has high expectations. She communicates those high expectations and holds those students accountable. And then at the same time, after disciplining a child, she says, I love you. We're starting new tomorrow. We always start with a clean slate. I'm not holding a grudge. You messed up. I still love you. My job is to teach you not to make that mistake again.
I want you to talk to me. What do you think the video does to this piece? Yes, Adrian.
It clears up the lyrics a lot.
Tell me how. Break it down.
Talking about like how if you step out of line, man will take you away. It showed the police and everybody protesting. It really cleared that up.
So it cleared it up for you. Somebody else. Does anybody have a...
Ms. Parker will be a teacher I remember because she taught us life lessons and she's always had my back.
Talk to me. Matthew.
In essence, it's because it has vibrant and bright colors.
Say it again, baby.
In essence, it's because it has bright and vibrant colors.
Okay, it has vibrant colors, so it lessens it for you. Talk to me, Sharon.
Ms. Parker will be a teacher that I remember because she is more strict than really most of the teachers that I've had. And she keeps me motivated to keep trying, and she lets us know that she loves us even if we make mistakes.
She loves you, and she cares for you. And when it comes to work, she wants you to do your best, even though you may or may not do it. She wants you to keep doing it until you get better.
She's just amazing, and she treats everybody the same. She loves everyone, and she's like the crazy aunt that you always want to go to for stuff.
All right, here we go, you guys. What is this, the year of? Nominee. Why do I do what I do? Because I have to. Why do I do what I do? Because I want to. Why do I do what I do? Take it away. At the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. To be nominated for the Excel Award was a pure joy. The fact that my principal would even, think of me that way is a joy. I don't take it lightly, but I do what I do, whether ever an award was in it or not. I just love what I do, and I love my kids. It's about them, really. So even though at this point it seems it's about me, it's really not. It's about them.
Again. At the right place, at the right time, for the right reasons. Oh, yeah. Have a great day. Love you guys.